you elected Willis Lee to the NRA Board of Directors, and he serves on 5 committees. Willis is a co-chairman of the Trump-Pence Second Amendment Coalition. He's also a member of the National Federation of Republican Assemblies and on the American Conservative Union Foundation Board. And the host of CPAC.
Yeah, I heard that.
Willis is a former state party GOP chairman and RNC member. They live in Virginia and attend Our Savior Lutheran Church. You should also know that Willis is a retired Army combat veteran, a West Point graduate, and an Airborne Ranger Armor Officer. Everybody, please put your hands together and welcome Willis Lee.
What a great introduction. Could have written that myself. Thank you for allowing me to join you patriots.
Yeah!
I don't want anyone to miss with this sound system. Can you hear me? In Minneapolis? Yeah! Anytime out of the DC Beltway, and I'm happy. And especially happy to not have to wear a suit.
Right?
Now look at you. Look around you right now. Take a look around you. 3,000 patriots on the State House steps on a beautiful Minnesota day. Thank you. For this great rally and all of you coming out, my hat is off to Chair Carnahan's Minnesota GOP and Brian Strausser and Rob Dorr of the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus. What a tremendous group, what a tremendous rally. Thank all of you. Like them, we don't have to be here. As mentioned earlier, we're not being paid to attend by liberal billionaires. I can't tell you how glad I am to be a part of this. We are protecting freedom.
Yeah!
From the bottom of my heart, I thank you in advance. You, me, and people like us are going to save our country this November. Now, it's particularly nice to see so many young people, though I'm getting to that point where most of y'all are young people now. Yes, as the introduction, I am an Army guy, but parents, no need for child ear protection. These remarks are rated PG. I'll begin, though, as I always do every time I do a presentation. Listen up what I'd like to do. There are those present who actually allow us to have a rally. So will those folks who are current or veteran military, law enforcement, or first responders and their families, go ahead and raise your hand.
Good, Josh.
Yes, thank you. You know why we can have this rally. All of us thank you. Now this particular rally, and many of you are going to understand this coming from this world, a lot of us shoot, hunt, we compete, or we plink. You'll understand this. Hashtag pew pew. Do you shoot, hunt, or compete? Where's hashtag Pew Pew Nation? Are you here?
Yeah!
Of course you are. Thank you. You're here and you vote, and that's good. But let's be real. That's not good enough. If you examine the recent voter turnout, we're getting worked.
Yeah, we are.
You and Second Amendment lovers across the nation, we've got to work to recruit and train and organize. In your neighborhood, at your office place, in your civic organization, in your family. The most pro-gun POTUS president in history is counting on us, our President Donald Trump. So let's talk about that. As mentioned, you helped elect me to the board of directors of the National Rifle Association, freedom's safest place. I do political work. I'm not a silver-tongued politician. I'm proud to work with Wayne LaPierre and Chris Cox. All of us join in the grief of the nation, and we're heartbroken over the senseless murders which continue, all of them. However, let's be transparent about what the other side's doing. Antis are using the politics of tragedy to ban firearms. to advance their political goals, they exploit tragedy. They want to further their admitted goal, as a recent former Supreme Court justice penned, to repeal the Second Amendment. I suppose we can at least thank Justice Stevens for being honest for a change.
That's about it.
They've dropped all pretense of common sense or reasonable gun control. They want to take your firearms. It's obvious this isn't about guns. This is about control.
Yes. Exactly what it's
Try
about.
this. Some, the mayor of London, they want to take knives.
And screwdrivers.
I call BS on the government. Anti-gun Democrats and Republicans taking our civil rights. The Second Amendment affirms my God-given right of self-defense.
Yes, it does.
Folks, I've been around and in the military and firearms all my life as an Army brat at West Point and in a career as a defender of freedom. I'm proud to continue defending freedom with the NRA and with 3,000 of you. Thank you. Minnesota has a strong history of support. Do not take it for granted. In the blink of an eye, if we're not vigilant, Minnesota can change. All of us have coworkers at your jobs, classmates at your schools, neighbors in your communities who were not raised like us. Even in Minnesota, they don't have the values which made America the shining city on the hill. They're brainwashed by Hollywood elites and pro ball player babble. They do not believe in American values, our values. It's idiocy for lawmakers and courts to punish law-abiding citizens for the actions of an unhinged madman. That's why we work for pro-gun legislation and to elect Second Amendment legislators. Keeping good people, law-abiding people from defending themselves, from exercising their Second Amendment rights, doesn't make the criminal, the bad guy, stop being a monster. It never will.
No.
The anti's most recent tactic is to use the undeveloped emotions of children to advance their cause. Now, let's be clear on this. We should do everything in our power to protect our children. I'm told, here's an example. Here in Minneapolis, a local police station is setting up satellite offices in schools. Securing our children
What's wrong with that?
as we secure our banks and celebrities is a no-brainer. Simply ending a gun-free zone is a deterrent. The bad guy doesn't want to stop before creating murderous goals. They know, and I'm going to ask you to say this with me, the only way to stop a bad guy, come on, 3,000. The only way to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. Exactly. It's not rocket science.
It's common sense. Real common sense.
Exactly. It's not rocket science. It's high time we got on board with the simple truth that protecting our children doesn't have to destroy the Second Amendment. It means that we need to provide our children with an environment that is safe and secure. You know the antis have an agenda against guns, not for safety. Their solution, like all socialists, is to take rights away from the law-abiding
Calls them
instead
out.
of solving the issue. This isn't rhetoric, this is their stated goal. We haven't seen an attack on our civil rights like this since the 60s, when the Democrats fought to prevent integration.
Yep.
They want to ban all firearms from law-abiding citizens, but in places like Chicago and Baltimore, they do nothing, absolutely nothing to end the carnage.
Nope.
Because they have an agenda to repeal the Second Amendment, we cannot compromise. Folks, I live in the world as it is, not as I wish it were. The Second Amendment affirms my right, but it doesn't protect me. You're responsible for your safety. You have to know the law, or all the laws. Safely owning a firearm incurs responsibility. That means training, how you carry and store your firearm, how you draw, whether it's from your hip or out of your purse, in your car or a nightstand, dominant hand, weak hand, sometimes pretty awkward positions. So you have to train and practice every situation. So you gotta know the law, and you gotta be a responsible firearm owner. Yeah, like that. So, what do we want? What do we want? Freedom. Thank you. Constitutional carry. Thank you. This year, bingo, reciprocity.
be left
The NRA's #1 legislative priority is national concealed carry reciprocity. It means with your Minnesota carry license, whether you're an independent,
New Jersey,
or a Democratic Party or Republican Party member, you can defend yourself regardless of crossing state borders. I crossed 4 flying here today. Yeah, I've got a Virginia permit. Yes, I'm unarmed. This sucks.
I'm sorry.
Right. A law-abiding citizen should be able to defend themselves wherever and whenever they're legally allowed to be.
We got your back.
Reciprocity is the most expansive pro-gun legislation in history to pass the U.S. House. We're working now with our allies in the U.S. Senate to pass it. Here's what you do. You tell your senators, hell, tell all 100 of them, we want reciprocity. And it doesn't matter what they want, including your senators here. You call and you write them and you tell them what you want. We want to see how the senators vote so we know our true Republican and Democratic Party friends, and because we deserve reciprocity. It's ours.
Yeah.
You don't like gun control? You continue winning elections with wonderful patriots, such as your state representative, Marion O'Neill, and these folks over here who are spending their day here with us from your state house and your state senate. Thank you all. We're here from around the state, and I'll tell you, each one of these will encourage your support. You don't have to live in their district to support them. Give them support, because if they're not here, we're not here. Take care of these guys. My top election priority this year is to increase our majority in the U.S. Senate. Fulfilling his most important promise, President Trump delivered big with Justice Gorsuch and many lower court appointees.
Yes, he did.
They are confirmed in the U.S. Senate. You want your civil rights? You want another Gorsuch? Then you have to win Senate races with #PewPew senators. I'm going to ask here, and don't be embarrassed, how many of us are NRA members? Or at least think we are. Thank you to all the NRA members, and if you don't have a membership card, you're not a member. I'm a life member, and I told you that being here is good and important, and it's not enough. We are the ambassadors of the Second Amendment for freedom. Last week, Hollywood celebrities declared war on the NRA.
Yes, they did.
On you, on America. If you're an NRA member, the NRA Frontline Activist Leader Program, it's called FAL, is looking for committed 2A leaders to assist year-round. It's elections, ballot initiatives, small special elections, and issues. Please do your part to defend freedom. You'll be organizing locally, and love you to stop by the NRA tent over here sometime today and sign up for the program. If you are not an NRA member, for whatever reason, you are hurting the Second Amendment movement. We need you to join. Please join.
Numbers matter.
The RNC is invested in the largest ground game in the history of U.S. elections. You get this? The most money, most manpower in the history of U.S. elections. As a former state GOP chairman, I applaud this effort. The RNC has a program called the Republican Leadership Initiative, RLI, and you'll hear about this in a minute. My call to action to you and everyone you know who thinks as we do. Join and participate in RLI and the NRA this election. It's not enough for you to simply support the Second Amendment anymore or to own a firearm. You can't simply compete or train or hunt or, heaven forbid, believe you have the right to defend your life and your family. Bloomberg and Soros, Hollywood and the media, all of them protected by firearms.
Yes, they
They're
are.
openly and aggressively attacking your right to defend your family. Throughout history, it's proven. You want your rights? You better fight for them. So what do you think? Does the Second Amendment affirm our God-given right of self-defense? Does it? Yeah, it does. You better believe it. And we're going to wrap up, and I'll thank you for allowing me to be here on this journey with you. Please follow NRA and NRA ILA on their Facebook and their website. I do want to give a shout out real quick. I've got two good friends who are wonderful advocates for the Second Amendment. And they're somewhere here, I haven't seen them yet. Gun Owners Caucus, Sarah Cade. I know she's here. Just do a shout out. Yeah, we all know her. Minnesota GOP National Committee woman, Janet Behofer. You guys are here. Please say hi to me before I get whisked out of here. For continued transparent updates, you guys go ahead and follow me on Facebook. Facebook page, Willis Lee NRA. But look, don't friend my personal page just because you saw me here today, but I appreciate your support. If there is, and I'll close, if there is one thing to take from today, make it this. The antis are coming to take them.
Yes, they are.
So we better fight for our civil rights. The NRA defends freedom. I am here to stand with you. How many of you are here to stand and fight with me? Stand and fight. Stand and fight. Stand and fight. Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless our troops. God bless the first responders. God bless America.
Amen. Amen.
All right, thank you guys so much this far. We are on our last speaker, and then I'll finish things.